please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody. So the Stanley Cup Finals are underway, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Conn Smythe favorites and players from each team that could potentially win the playoff MVP award depending on how the rest of this series goes. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to look at three players, my three favorites from each team, three from Dallas and three from Tampa Bay, that I think are my favorites from each side to win the Conn Smythe Award right now. Obviously, if someone has a massive finals, this could potentially change, but for the most part, these I think are the guys that are leading the way for their respective teams. And one of these six guys that I talk about is very, very likely to be the one who takes home the playoff MVP award this year. So before I fully get into it, I just ask that you please hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Both of those things help out a lot and are very, very much appreciated. But let's start with Dallas here. First of all, number one, my top, I think the Conn Smythe leader right now for the Dallas Stars is goaltender Anton Khudobin. He has just been nothing short of phenomenal in these playoffs for the Stars this year. Unbelievable postseason for him so far. He started 19 games. He's 13-6 with a .923 save percentage and a 2.54 goals against average. And he's not only made a lot of saves and won a lot of games, he's made some massive saves, some spectacular saves for the Dallas Stars. And the Stars would not be here right now without Anton Khudobin in goal. This is a guy who's been a career backup who no one really saw this coming. It was supposed to be Ben Bishop's team. Bishop gets hurt early, in the postseason. He's only played 3 games this postseason. Anton Khudobin has completely taken over and has won that starting job and has not only won it, but just been absolutely phenomenal in that starting role all postseason long for the Stars. And he right now, if Dallas wins the Cup, is my favorite for the Conn Smythe. Coming in at number 2, I have defenseman Miro Heiskanen, Heiskanen has just been awesome in these playoffs. The offensive numbers have slowed down a little bit over the past series plus for him. He scored a lot of points early in the playoffs. He hasn't been scoring at as high of a clip in the last series plus now the past series or so. But he's still 22 games played, 5 goals, 18 assists for 23 points, which leads the Dallas Stars in points and is also +5 on the postseason. Heiskanen's been unbelievable. He's showing the entire hockey world how great of a defenseman he is. I think he's one of the most underrated young defensemen in the league. There's so much talk about guys like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar and Zach Werenski and Charlie McAvoy and all these other young D-men that get talked about all the time. Heiskanen belongs in that conversation. And he is a legitimate IC Norris Trophy level defenseman in his future. He's a legit number 1 top pair D-man, and he's showing the whole hockey world that in these playoffs, and he has just been absolutely outstanding. So I really think it's been a breakout coming out party for him, and he has a very strong shot, depending on how these finals go, of winning that Conn Smythe Award, and he leads the team in points by a pretty healthy margin. And it's just been outstanding offensively as well as defensively. He's not strictly an offensive defenseman. He plays very well in his own zone as well and plays that, two-way game. And finally, number 3, I have Jamie Benn, the captain of the Dallas Stars, top-line winger. He's got 22 games played, 8 goals, 10 assists for 18 points and a +1 rating. Ben has just been, coming up with some huge goals, been a great leader for the Stars. Really, really good postseason for him, putting up points on the board, scoring big goals, being a captain, leading the way, doing what he needs to do to get Dallas to this point. He is definitely in the running and in the conversation for Conn Smythe as well. I think he's had a phenomenal postseason and really showing his worth to Dallas and showing why he is the captain and why he's such an important player and a huge piece of this Dallas Stars team. Switching over now to the Tampa Bay Lightning side of things, if the Lightning go on to win the Cup, my number one Conn Smythe favorite right now for Tampa Bay is Brayden Point. Brayden Point has been absolutely phenomenal in these playoffs. Now, he is dealing with an injury now, and he missed a couple of games in the Islanders series. And we've kind of seen that injury take its toll, and he hasn't been as explosive offensively since getting hurt in that Islanders series. But still, 18 games played in the playoffs, 9 goals, leading the Tampa Bay Lightning, 16 assists for 25 points, and a +10 rating. He's their top-line center. He has had an absolutely unbelievable postseason for Tampa. And if it wasn't for him getting hurt, I mean, I still think he would lead the team in points if he hadn't missed those 2 games. And, he's still tied for the team leading goals with Victor Hedman. And it's just been an incredible playoffs for Brayden Point. If the Lightning win the Cup and Point plays every game the rest of the way, I still think he is the Conn Smythe favorite for the Lightning, even though he's missed a couple of games. He's just been so good. Number 2, I have Nikita Kucherov, top-line right wing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has played all 20 games so far in the postseason. He has 6 goals, 20 assists. 20 assists in 20 games for Nikita Kucherov, 26 points, leading the team in points in the postseason so far. He has taken that over from Brayden Point, and a +13 on the postseason. Kucherov, honestly, early in the playoffs, it didn't even seem like Kucherov was that big of a factor in that he was playing that well. Then you go and look at his stat line and you're like, whoa, he's actually racking up assists right now. And he was playing really well. And Kucherov's been very good all playoffs long. But from the conference final on, I think Kucherov really picked his game up against the Islanders. And once Brayden Point got hurt and more of that pressure got onto Kucherov to kind of lead the way, Kucherov has stepped up. And he's been phenomenal through the conference finals. And over the last series or so now, he's been absolutely outstanding and really picking up where Brayden Point hasn't been able to because of the injury. And that, I think, has launched Kucherov up in the Conn Smythe conversation. And I have him at number 2, just behind Point right now, but leading the team in points. Phenomenal series against the Islanders. And, we'll see what he does the rest of the way in the finals, but he is definitely in the conversation for sure. And finally, number 3, I have Victor Hedman, defenseman for Tampa Bay. 20 games played, 9 goals in 20 games for Victor Hedman as a defenseman, tied for the team lead. He also has 6 assists for 15 points and a +17 rating so far in the playoffs. +17. I mean, he's just been unbelievable at both ends of the ice. Not only is he scoring a ton of goals and putting up points offensively, but he has been a shutdown, lockdown number 1 D-man for them. I think Victor Hedman's the best overall defenseman in the NHL. Does it at both ends of the ice, playing a ton of minutes, playing all the important minutes defensively for the Lightning as well as offensively on the power play. And when they need goals, Victor Hedman is out there. Just every situation, Hedman is their go-to guy. And I think the only thing that's stopping him from being the favorite is his point total. He does only have 6 assists and 15 points total, while, Point and Kucherov both have 25 or more. So I think that is what drops him to number 3 on the list. But depending on how these finals go, Victor Hedman absolutely could be the Conn Smythe winner this year. And he's just put on an amazing performance for Tampa Bay. And I've been thoroughly impressed with what I've seen from him. So there you have it. Those are my Conn Smythe favorites, 3 from each team, depending on who wins, who I think is going to win it. But these guys are all having phenomenal postseasons. They are all in the Conn Smythe conversation. And we'll see what happens the rest of the way. We're only through game 1 of the finals. Obviously, there's still a long way to go. And And it's going to be incredible to see who's able to come away with this cup and also who's able to win this Conn Smythe Playoff MVP award. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, links to our Patreon, merchandise store, and donation link are in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys very soon.